Yo, ladies and gentlemen, the Arsenal transfer window is officially over. All the transfer windows are pretty much over,
Yes,
and
it
there's a
is.
lot to discuss. Arsenal have gotten Raheem Sterling over the line. We've gotten here you go. The deal is going to get done. Also, Reece Nelson is going to be headed to Fulham. Neto has been signed. Plus, I need you guys to do me a favor. Before we do any more transfer news, I need you guys to make sure you do hit the like button on this video, especially if you're watching this on the playback, and let me know what you guys think about the transfers. We got Deo in the building. Deo, how you doing?
I'm good, 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 my brother. I'm good. The transfers are done. Ugh, Jesus Christ! Finally,
Yeah,
I can watch tomorrow's game, not stressing about who's coming in or who's going out. Or now I know. Now I know what we have for the season. Now I know.
yeah,
And
but with transfer season over, just people are still gonna complain. Now the real issues begin. Everybody's
yeah, I
gonna
know.
overreact about games. Everybody's gonna overreact about stuff. But we got some major stuff to talk about. So first things first, Raheem Sterling. We gotta talk about Raheem Sterling because this Raheem Sterling news is quite massive. Raheem Sterling has undergone his medical. Raheem Sterling will be joining Arsenal Football Club. Raheem Sterling to Arsenal. Here we go.
Oh,
Fabrizio Romano has given the here we go. Raheem Sterling has fully agreed to join Arsenal. The deal is done. Raheem Sterling, it's a loan. It does not include any obligation, and Arsenal only playing a fraction of the player's wages. So we're paying 150K of the player's 300 plus K wages. Arsenal feel they got a great deal on the transfer deadline day. For a transfer deadline day deal, Chelsea basically gave us a very favorable deal. Everything was in our favor. Also, Jadon Sancho went to Chelsea. Raheem Sterling comes to Arsenal. Victor Osimhen doesn't end up going to Chelsea. He stays in Napoli, and yeah, that's pretty much done. The deal is done. He's coming to the biggest club in London, and he's now played for Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, and now Arsenal. He's had one hell of a career. But
yep,
yeah,
he has.
Raheem Sterling, how are we feeling?
Like I said, as a backup, I'm feeling good. He's a backup. Look, let me start by saying this. I wouldn't say I'm feeling good. I would rather say this. This was an opportunistic buy for me in the sense that 2 weeks ago, Raheem Sterling was still a Chelsea player. Nobody expected him to be on the market. The fact that Endo Maresca says he's not using him anymore, and then his representatives put out a tweet or notice, and then all this story started, and he's on the market, and he's going to pay his wages and blah blah blah. So this is an opportunistic purchase for me or loan for me as regards to Raheem Sterling. Would I have wanted somebody else? Yes, I would. Am I am I disappointed that it's Raheem Sterling? No, I'm not, because he comes with a lot of experience. He comes with a lot of experience, having played in Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea. And that experience comes a long way. If he's going to be a backup player on the wings, I think that is not it. If you have a Raheem Sterling coming off the bench, that is not bad. It's different if you have Nelson. Nelson is young, yes, he has talent, but he hasn't done what Raheem has done. And we've seen Raheem as a system player at City where he thrives. So I think that in a Arsenal club that is better run than Chelsea, I believe we are better run than Chelsea the way we're run right now. He should be able to thrive to do the business when we need him to give Bukayo Saka rest, or put some pressure on Martinelli or whatever it is. The case is he's backup, and that's fair enough. That's fair enough for me. I think we're still short one player. That's what I think. But when I then look at our forward line, I start to see that our forward line can be rotated a lot. Trossard plays across the front three, right? Gabriel Jesus plays across the front three. Um, I think the only person who doesn't play across the front three is Bukayo Saka on the right. Even Martinelli can play across the front three. He's played right, he's played left wing, and Martinelli we definitely know can play down the center, which is what we brought him for originally. So I think that regardless of what it is, as bad as it's people want to paint it, we have an experienced player coming in as a bench player. Now, I can jump and quickly pivot and say, when I look at the whole Arsenal squad now, I'm a little more impressed about the bench and people coming off the bench. That for me is more impressive now. Because if I filled my first 11, let's say I filled David Raya, I do Ben White, I do Saliba, I do Gabriel, I do Calafiori, right? Let's say those are my back four, or I do Timber, that's my back four. And then in my midfield, I do Rice, Jorginho, I say Rice, Odegaard, and Partey, right? And then my front three, I
Big up
do on the
Shaq.
what's up, Shaq? On my
Big up,
front
man.
three,
Black having me on, man.
let's say I do on the left, I do Leandro Trossard. Down the middle, I do Kai Havertz, and on the right, I do Bukayo Saka. If I need to swap any of those players and bring in a sub, coming from the bench is players like Gabriel Jesus, players like Calafiori, players like Mourinho. Um, I have a better Raheem Sterling, as poor as it may seem, is a player coming off the bench for me. The bench is a lot more. I can trust the bench a lot more than what I did last season. Eddie Nketiah coming in against Bayern was a no. You know, we
You
needed
know,
with experience. So yeah. So
Deo, if you don't
I think
mind me
so far so
jumping in,
good.
if you don't mind me jumping in, I do agree. I think Raheem Sterling does add depth to our squad. Moreno definitely does do that. Calafiori basically sorts out our left hand side. We now have cover for Gabriel and left back, and that's really good cover there. People are questioning, is this enough though? So Shaq, let me come to you. What are you saying? We have
Yeah.
improved. You can't deny that, right?
I mean, I'll be honest, yeah, like the improvements are very, very, very slight. And here's the thing though, yeah, like before the transfer window started, I just had particular expectations in it. Do you know what I mean? There's certain players that we were linked with, yeah, i.e. Neto. Let me just speak on the Sterling thing, yeah, because yeah, okay, cool. Bringing a Sterling off the bench, yeah, is better than a Reece Nelson, like as for example, in it. I think Sorry, apologies. I think with Sterling, yeah, like he is a player, yeah, that can get into like attacking positions better in it. Do you know what I mean? I just think with him, he just needs a lot of volume or chances in it, and I can't trust a player like that to come off the bench and cause an effect, especially when there's less time in comparison to him starting the game in it. And even if he is starting the game, I'm sorry, but all of those one-on-one situations that I've seen him at Chelsea, like, because obviously, like, this is the version of Sterling that we're getting now. Like, seeing all of that, I'm sorry, man, it scarred me. It really has scarred me. And me personally, I wanted better. Do you know what I mean? I wanted a player that could potentially actually start. And obviously, as I mentioned earlier on, like someone like Pedro Neto, he can play both on the left, he can play both on the right. Obviously, we understand that he's had his injury concerns. So obviously he would have been seen as like cover for someone like a Saka, you
Shaq,
know what I mean?
Shaq,
Where obviously you
can I
can
ask you a
manage his
question,
men.
Shaq?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Would you have said the same for Kai Havertz at the end of the season last season? But beginning of season, I know what you probably would have said. I mean, the version
Yeah.
of the version of Kai Havertz that we got from Chelsea was a terrible version. Yes or no? We can all agree.
Yes.
We can all agree that it was a terrible, terrible version that we got. And the point is, I think that everybody saying that Raheem Sterling was so bad last season, which is true, and probably the season before, which I agree with you. I'm not putting into context the fact that Chelsea as a club were bad. Six managers in 2 years, number one.
They're pretty
Number
poor.
two, the entire team, except for Cole Palmer, who is a very talented player and could stand up on his own to carry that team. And players like Cole Palmer don't become the yardstick to say, oh, well, Cole Palmer did well. What about that's no excuse. The rest of Chelsea was horrible. Caicedo was terrible. Enzo Fernandez was terrible. Goalkeepers were terrible. Defenders were terrible. Because, I mean, Malo Gusto was probably the only other person on that pitch. Kukurea was terrible. You can list every single one of them. My Halo Mudrik was terrible. So my point is, he played in a system where everybody literally was bad, and we could see how bad it was. A Sterling with experience. I'm not trying to make this seem like a good signing. I'm saying it's what we have. We have to look at how to make it work, right? Trying to point out the failures without actually looking at 2 years ago, we were still talking about how good Sterling was before he left City to go to Chelsea. So let's not have revisionist history here or recency bias and be like, oh, because he played badly. We did that with Kai Havertz and he proved us wrong. We did that with Ben White and he proved us
Can
wrong.
we address this though? Sterling is a good backup for Saka.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Shaq,
Sterling
at
is
least you have to agree with that.
Do you know what it is? Again, yeah, as I said from the start, yeah, I had certain expectations in it. Me personally, I'm trying to topple this City team in it. Now, this Savino brother, yeah, that they bought, yeah, the guy's a baller. Obviously, aside from the Prem, the La Liga is actually a league that I probably like watched the most. But the guy is a baller. Do you know what I mean? I think he's
Who's that?
probably better than anything.
Savio.
Savio. In my
Yeah.
opinion, he's probably better than anything that we have on the wing, except from probably Saka. Maybe you can argue Trossard, but then again, I can say, you know what I mean, when it comes to like taking on his man, do you know what I mean? Technical ability and whatnot, dribbling, like he's better than Trossard, isn't it? Like he's a baller. The City is the team that obviously we're trying to get better than. Not only that, I'm trying to see us compete in every single competition and not just compete. I want
So
us
Raheem
to
Sterling help us
win.
do that.
I want us to, but honestly, I don't think so. Maybe
Shaq,
he helps us get
Shaq,
Come
further.
on,
Maybe
Shaq,
he
Shaq,
helps
let
Shaq.
me
us
ask
get
you a question. Shaq,
further.
let me ask Shaq,
One
let me ask
second,
you
Maybe
a
one
he
question.
second.
maybe he helps us get further, yeah, in order the competitions that we evolved in it. But Dio, you know how you said,
One
obviously,
second, one
okay,
second, Shaq.
Sterling is
You
not
can't tell
great.
me
Sterling
that
is not great, yeah. Hold on a minute,
Sterling
one sec.
is
Let me
an
land.
upgrade on Reece
One
Nelson,
sec,
no?
one sec. But I'm not, I'm not looking for just upgrades. I think this is
Big up
again
James.
the first
Yeah,
point.
Sterling
Yeah,
good, yeah.
big up James, man. The first point that I said, yeah, is that I had certain expectations.
Yes,
I'm not
I heard
just
that.
We all
looking.
did.
I'm not. I'm not just looking for an upgrade. I'm looking for X factors. It's
Okay.
about time.
So Shaq,
Listen,
Shaq,
we
Shaq,
we have
Shaq, let me
done
ask you,
we've done
let me
well.
ask you a
Hold on a minute.
question.
Wait, one sec. Let
One,
me land.
let him finish.
Yeah. Because don't get me wrong, we've done some good things here over the past few years, isn't it? But it's time to win. For me personally,
So
simply
Shaq,
just getting players to up.
let me ask you a
Simply
question.
one second. Hold on a minute. One second. Simply just getting players to upgrade. Yeah, it's not enough because if you're bringing the argument to me saying that, well, he's better than Reece Nelson, bro. I'm sorry, but the bar is in hell,
Shaq,
man.
Shaq, let
The
me ask you.
bar is in hell
Let me
if you're
let me
gonna
ask you.
say
Let
to
me no
me,
no no.
oh,
Let
Dayo,
me
let
ask
me
you a
but
just
he's
question.
introduce
better
the
than
guest.
Reece Nelson,
One
isn't he?
second.
Yeah.
James, welcome to the show.
You right, how are
Big
you?
up to you. And what we're talking about is Raheem Sterling a player that improves Arsenal? And I'm just saying he
Well,
does.
I'll be honest with you, it's an underwhelming transfer window. We all know that as
100%.
Arsenal fans. The thing is, yeah, you've got to take into consideration is that before the window started, we all said we needed a replacement goalkeeper for Ramsdale, another person in the back line, midfielder, attacker, or striker. And we didn't get the four players we wanted, but we got the four positions we needed. So I think it's not the four players I would have got, apart from Calafiori. I like the look of him. But we move forward, man. We go for the title this year. I think we're going to win the league this year.
The
I
four
want
players I wanted,
you
the
go.
four players I wanted was Bruno G, Isaac,
100%.
and I think the backup goalkeeper. I don't even care who it was. Just gave me a backup
Yeah.
goalkeeper, so that
So
doesn't really matter.
can I say something,
And
Shaq,
then the
to you?
defender. Which defender were we after? Braithwaite. So we
Yeah.
did better than Braithwaite, I
I
would
didn't
say.
even want a defender. I was happy just to get like a midfielder, a winger, and a striker, and a goalkeeper. I didn't really feel like defense was needed, but Calafiori has definitely like solidified our defense, man. With
I think
Timber,
Mikel Moreno might surprise you guys.
So here's what I want to say,
I
go.
think the defense
Go.
wins us the league this year. But go on.
I agree with James in the sense that we got players in the profiles that we needed. What is underwhelming for most Arsenal fans, especially like Shaq, like what you said, is because they're not game-changing names to you. To you, they're not game-changing names. And let me explain something again. I'm going to go back to last season. Last season, City did not win more games than us. Do you realize that? Go look at the table. City won 28 games. We won 28 games. We lost 5 games. City lost 3 games. The reason we lost the league last season is because we lost 2 games. And in those 2 games, I can point at 2 games that we played very, very well against Aston Villa, but we shot the goal at the back in defense and they scored and they won. We outplayed them, but they scored. So the first thing we did this season was to strengthen where we were strongest, which was our defense last season. We brought in Calafiori. Timber is back from injury. So we strengthened where we should need to strengthen because it's not in every game that we're going to score goals. Let's be honest. You don't score in every single game. Even City had a game against us at the Etihad where they were unable to score. It ended in a 0-0 tie. No matter how great your team is, there are games where you don't score. But in those games, you don't want to lose. So we've shored up in the place where we needed strength. When people keep saying goals were the problem, or that Arsenal scored goals from January to March, he scored a bunch of goals, which is true. But remember, from August to December, we only lost 2 games. That means we won every other game and we scored goals from August to December. Whether we scored 1 goal or 2 goals or 8 goals or 6 goals, we scored goals. The fact is, we scored 91 goals last season and 120 plus in all competitions. City scored 95 goals. We conceded only 29. We are this far away from City when it comes to pushing and fighting on the pitch, when it comes to the football. If we get just the right profiles to be able to get the job done in the games that we need to win, right? That's all we need. I know we want bragging rights. I know we want to beat City home and away so we can say, look, we did this. Yeah. But the truth is, City has won the Premiership when Liverpool was literally their rival for the Premiership without beating Liverpool. They lost their game to Liverpool, but they went on to win other teams and they won the league. So my point is, let's be objective about the profiles that we have in the team and not be those fans that are just emotionally driven because we didn't get the players that we wanted. I know the players I wanted, I didn't get them. But then I want to now analyze these players that we have and say, well, let's look at this profile. Let's look at this profile. Do they get the job done? Are you happy having Eddie Nketiah come off the bench, or are you rather happy having Gabriel Jesus come off the bench as a striker? Which would you prefer?
Can I say something as well?
I just want to say one thing before we continue. Big up to Dan Potts for sending everybody over from Dan Potts' channel. Shout out to all you guys that have joined from Dan Potts' channel. Please do like the video. Please do like the video. And for 1 second, just to make it clear, I'm not saying I initially wanted Raheem Sterling either, guys. I think I agree with you guys. I didn't want Raheem Sterling. But now that he's here and we've signed him, I understand that we couldn't get anything else late in the window. And I've accepted. There's a difference between saying I've accepted that this is the situation we're in, and in a bad situation, we got a reasonable deal. Half of his wages, a player who's Premier League proven, who comes into this team and is definitely an upgrade on Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah.
I would say this, yeah. We've probably sold more than we've bought this summer. So if next summer we're stingy again, that's when we can actually start doing the madness. If we can spend the money next summer on the next best thing in the market and splash out next summer for a worldie striker, like maybe Gyökeres has an amazing season again, and we can be in the market again in the future. It's not. James, we don't need to panic.
Yeah, James. Sorry, Igal, can you put up money? Igal, sorry, Igal, can you listen? I'm not an accountant, so I won't even talk about the money. But again, Misu 448. I just want to respond to this. Nobody's making excuses. Exactly what I just said again. I said the games where we should have won, the games like the West Ham games, the Fulham games where we tied the game, the Aston Villa games where we lost home and away. The point is this: in those games, when you're not able to score, don't lose the match. We outplayed Aston Villa, but they scored 2 goals. So my point is, if we had defended to the last and we had tied those 2 games, guess what? We tied City for the cup. That's all it took last season, to just tie Aston Villa home and away. Meanwhile, Aston Villa took 3 points away from City, but took 6 away from us. So you see what the difference is. If we won one of those games, we win the league. So my point is this: at the end of the day, we're in a better position when we look at our bench and you're removing a Rice as a number 8 and bringing a Mourinho in. You're not bringing in Fabio Vieira. You're in a better position when you're removing a Timber and you're bringing a Calafiori in, because at least you now know that you have quality for quality in those positions. If you're bringing in a Tomiyasu to come and play and you're moving a Timber to the midfield, you're better. If you want to play Zinchenko in the midfield, play the midfielder. You know,
why are you so negative, man? Like, cheer up, man. Would you get banned all day?
Also, look at it this way.
See, look.
One second. Shaq,
last thing I'll say.
Think about this. My man saying Saka's gonna start, Havertz starts, say Trossard starts. You now have Jesus, Martinelli, and what do you call it? Sterling on the bench that can come on and make a difference. That's much better than what we had.
Have you guys seen Martinelli? I don't know if it's me here, but have you guys seen Martinelli?
But Shaq,
have you guys seen him for the past 12 months?
Shaq, listen, Shaq, and I'll say this about
Martinelli off the bench last
year. I'll say this about Martinelli again. Martinelli and Leandro Trossard are both impact players. They're both 45-minute players. Sadly, that's what we've had all this while. Most of us were gassing them up. The truth is, Martinelli and Trossard are 45-minute players. And I think once we realize that as fans, we understand the impact that they make. Martinelli in a 45-minute game coming off the bench was hot last season. Full 90 minutes was crap. Trossard, the same thing. So we have to find a way to use what we have in the best way to be able to beat these teams. When we sit here as fans and just shit on them and say, "Oh, Martinelli is crap," without looking at really what he does and what he brings to the club, then we're part of the problem. Now that we have a Raheem Sterling, again, I don't value Raheem Sterling like that, but I know he has experience. Now you have 3 impact players on that left that you can use at rotation in a game. I don't mind you rotating them because that could just be the output on the left the way it is. Saka on the right, Jesus on the right. Those two could be doing what they need to do. Gabriel Jesus down the middle with Kai Havertz. Those two could be doing what they need to do as an inter-rotation. And in the midfield, remember, you still have Jorginho, you have Partey, you have Odegaard, you have Rice, you have Mourinho, and we have academy players that we have clamored for the last year to be given a chance to play. Now that we're giving them a chance, we
no
want
one's
to start
taking
complaining.
No,
no
Neri's
one's
not
taking.
there yet. It's not there yet, man. We needed another
I know,
creative midfielder.
I'm not saying he's
We
there, but
needed more
listen,
creativity in that
Shaq,
midfield.
I'm not
Because
saying Shaq.
when I watch us play very quickly, yeah, when I watch us play, yeah, when it comes to our creativity, it's very dominant on the right hand side. I don't that left hand side, yeah. I still don't think it's sorted now. In terms of the whole California thing, don't get me wrong. I think listen, from the little I've seen, I think he's a good player. But I've said this before. I think I was never a fan, and I've said this before, yeah. If you want to get the best out of a player, yeah, Martinelli, yeah, you need to give him the ball in certain situations, and you need to get him more central where he's able to get more shots off in it. Do you know what I mean? This whole thing of him having to hold the width and whatnot and getting the left back to invert, I don't know. For me, it just doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? And for me, Martinelli suffers out on that left hand side. Now the problem is because Martinelli's got the pace, Arteta's always going to
Shaq,
start, my man. Do you
Shaq,
know what I mean?
Shaq,
Me
Shaq.
personally,
If
I think
Arsenal win the
Trossard
trophy
should
this
start on
season, what
that
will
left
you?
wing.
No, hold on. Can you answer this question? If this team that they've assembled right now wins the Premiership this season, if they win it, because I know most people say they're not going to win it. No, hold on. I know most people are going to jump on it and say they're not. The same way we can say they're not going to win it is the same way we can say it's possible that they win it. If this team, for some random reason, this team that has been assembled, right, with all this criticism that we're giving them without actually looking at what can be done with the team, if they go on to win the league, what will you say at the end of the season? Was this a genius move by Arteta? Or you're going to say,
I would say, yeah, I would say that I have never been happier in my life before to have been wrong about something. That
exactly.
is what I would say.
So yes.
But here's the thing. But here's
Can
the
I
thing,
just
though.
say
Here's
one
the
thing?
thing,
Can I
though.
just say one
Here's the
thing?
thing.
Can I just say one? It's like very hard to replace our first team players unless you're willing to spend 200-300 million in the summer. Because
you know what I
each
noticed,
player
though?
you want to replace our good players with will cost 70 to 100 mil.
But
If you want
guys,
to
I
look
mean,
at this.
Neto was there for about 50 something, no?
One
You know what
second.
I mean?
Look at
So,
this. We basically have a backup. We basically have a backup for each position. So you now go. You got Havertz, you got Jesus, right? You got Trossard, you got Martinelli, right? And then on this side, for the right wing, you now have Saka and you have Sterling. You have
Jesus.
six quality attackers. If somebody gets injured, say if Jesus gets injured,
that's
we
a
still have
stretch.
Trossard who can play there too.
I'm sorry, can I button six quality attackers? That's a stretch. Me personally, I'm looking at two men who I could say is quality, yeah. Saka and Trossard. As I said, I don't know where everyone's been for the
What
past
about
12 months,
Havertz? What about
but
Jesus?
I'm watching
Well,
Martin,
Jesus
I'm
is a
watching
ball. The
Martinelli,
injury.
I'm watching Martinelli, I'm watching him out of that left wing. He doesn't look as explosive as he used to be. He's struggling to beat his man. Do you know what I mean? He's struggling to provide for others. Yeah. Gabriel Jesus can't stay fit. Yeah. Can't score enough goals. And for me, he's getting to a point where he's getting a bit frustrating, where when he gets into good areas and gets into good positions, he's taking too many touches of the ball, not the greatest
Hold on.
decision making.
Is your complaint that
Kai Havertz, hold on a minute.
Is
Let me land on a point. Yeah.
finish your point.
Now, Kai Havertz, yes, in that centre forward, I much prefer him at centre forward than a midfield. I don't want to see that guy in midfield ever again. Yeah, I saw this guy have a cameo at centre forward at Man City earlier on in the season. Yeah, and he done well. I don't know how and why it took another how many games for Arteta to stick him at centre forward. Cool, but Guys, let's not lie to ourselves here.
When was the
Most
last time we
Arsenal
played? When
fans,
was the
hold on a
last
minute,
time we played?
because
When was the last time we played half-back in
wait,
midfield? When was the last
brother.
time?
Let
When was the last time?
me land. 'Cause every time I try to talk, I get cut off. Yeah, let me land, because
Land,
for all the
I'm
good,
listening.
that Havertz has done, I don't care what anyone tells me. Most Arsenal fans can agreed on one thing at the beginning of the transfer window: we needed a striker. You understand? If Kai
No, we did
Havertz
not.
was that good. oh,
No, we
Egal,
did not.
okay? Egal, are you telling me, yeah, that the consensus of Arsenal fans, whether it's online or whatever, you're telling me that
Yeah, but
most Arsenal fans, or at least the
the
majority.
club
Hold on
didn't
a minute,
Listen,
win.
no,
you
forget the
ran
club,
with the
forget the
rhetoric.
club, forget the club,
You ran
forget
with
the
the
club,
rhetoric.
forget the club.
You
Fuck the
ran with
club
the
for a second.
rhetoric. That's the
Fuck
point.
the club. Hold on a minute. Wait. Hold on a minute. Fuck the club for a second, because whatever they've done, it had the won us fuck all for 4 years. Fuck the club for a second, yeah. The majority of Arsenal fans have said that we needed a striker. That's not to say that Kai Havertz is bad and
So
doesn't fit in the
does that
system.
mean that the
Like,
fans were right
he's
though?
done all right for us playing in the
Does that
centre
mean the
forward
fans were
role.
right though?
He's
Does
playing in
that
the
mean the
centre
fans
forward
were right?
role. Huh? Well,
Does that mean
we
the
never
fans
win
were right?
anything. Well, hold on a minute. But
You know
love, we
what?
never won
I
anything. We never won anything. So
So
if the
Shaq,
whole point,
so
hold on a minute. If the fans are
Shaq.
saying, yeah, if the fans are saying, listen, we need this quality, we need that quality, we need it in this position, we need it in that position, and the end goal is to win. And all the great club and all the great scouting that the club has done has resulted in us not winning. You're asking me, are the fans right? Yeah, I think we are, mate.
So
Hey
The
guys,
result,
I
if
need
the
to
end result
disagree
isn't
now.
there, I think there is
so
some.
so can I
Yeah,
respond right here?
Dayo, you'll get to respond. Let me just
No,
read the super
you gotta read
chat.
the super
James
chat.
was
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna we're gonna respond to this. If Arsenal win the league with the Cronkies in charge, I'll donate 1,000 to this channel. I will always it's always going to miss out. Stop being delusional.
Okay.
Okay. You know
Well,
what
let's
we're gonna do?
restart it. Okay, so Shaq, let me respond to what you just said right now. And I hear you, yes.
Mhm.
Fans said we needed a striker. And what is the essence of asking for a
Amongst
striker?
other things.
No, hold on. I'm addressing the one that you mentioned. I'm not. We know about other
Yeah,
things. Let's stay in the pocket of the conversation.
I just
I'm
wanted
trying
to
to.
add it in there. Go
Yeah,
on,
no,
go on.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to address what you talked about, which is fans said we needed a striker. And what is the essence of a striker? A clinical striker that can put in more goals in the back of the net is the reason fans said that. But you're talking about a team that Arteta has built that doesn't score the conventional way through a striker. A team that scored 91 goals through their own contributions as a team. A team where in one particular game, all out 10 field players at a point had a shot on goal, a shot on target. A team that the defenders alone scored 15 goals in the season as their own contribution. A team that put 20 16 corner kicks and 4 set piece goals through into the net. My point is the way Arsenal is set up, we score goals. This idea that we want a striker, I agree we need an extra striker. Don't get me wrong, we need an additional striker. We need bodies in there, and we need an additional good striker. I agree with you, but the striker is not. Well, the striker is not the goals, because this team doesn't score that way. The work that the striker will do, that Kai Havertz does, for example, dropping into the middle, dragging away defenders, creating space for other people. The way Arsenal plays, go look at it tactically. The way Arsenal plays, any striker we bring in must be able to put in that work off the ball. Now, do we still score goals? Yes. Did we score in every game that we played last season? No. The games where we did not score, where it was difficult for us to score because they played us a low block and they're playing us on the counter, what we needed in those games was to not lose those games. And even though we had the best defense last season, in some of those games, a couple of them which I could mention, we broke down in defense and they scored against us. So what I'm saying is, I'm upset that we didn't buy an additional striker. I get it.
100%.
This team, we should have got it. I agree with you. But this team was a team that was 2 points away from City last season. This season might not be the same season. I agree with you. It could even get tougher and worse, or whatever the case is. But this team knows they know what they did together. Right? Bringing in the right profiles to cover those positions. When you look at the bench now, for me, I'm a little more confident of the bench of people who are coming off to say, hey, you know what?
Maybe Trossard
guys,
can go
let James jump
That's
in.
what I'm saying.
Let James jump in. James, what are you saying?
I think Trossard could go up front now, because now we've got 2 players who can play left wing, not including Trossard. Maybe Trossard could play more games up front and let Havertz, because have you noticed how Havertz always the last man to come off? I'm sick of it. Hopefully, Havertz can just get a little less minutes, and maybe Trossard can, because Trossard scores. He could be like Jota to Liverpool for us, man. You know, he's that type of player, man.
He's clinical.
You know, yeah, and you're right. You're right. Look, honestly, nobody knows how the season is going to pan out. But the one thing I am happy about, right, like, is everything we asked the club to do this season. Will Martinelli, and this guy is not good enough. Eddie Nketiah, he's out the club. Oh, Reece Nelson is not good enough. He's out the club.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
this
have
one,
to say that.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true. You
every
have to say
every
that's
single
the way.
thing, every single thing we complained about as fans, we sat on screens and we dog shot on these players, and the club has moved every single. Fabio Vieira, he hasn't contributed anything in 2 years. He's too injury prone. He's skinny. He's not good enough. Get him out of the club. All these people we complain about are out the club.
I
Okay,
hope he does that to have it. I hope
No,
he's
but one
I hope
second.
he does it to have
My
it.
issue with what Shaq is saying is, Shaq, you're looking at this team and you're saying we haven't improved.
No, we have
I
improved our
didn't,
depth.
I didn't say that we
11, but
didn't
we've improved
improve.
our depth.
I said that the improvements were very minimal. That
Yeah,
is
they
what
did.
I said.
Okay.
yeah, but when
I
you're
think
when you're that
I
close to the
think
top, when you're that close
one
to the top,
second.
Yeah,
I think
there's a limit to
but
what
the
you
thing
can.
is, do you know what it
Yeah,
is,
when you're
Dio? As
that close,
Arsenal
it's
fans,
really hard.
As Arsenal fans, I think we take our position for granted. I think we think that every single team
No.
has to
That's
have
the
a
exact
free.
opposite.
Hold a
No,
minute,
but
hold a minute.
Shaq, one thing.
Every single team has to take a 3-4 year process just to get to
No,
where
but
just to
Shaq,
get to
I
where we
agree with
are.
you.
We have to
100%.
understand, yeah. Every season that we go into, yeah, it's gonna come up with different challenges, but everyone else is improving and everyone's adapting to the way of how we play. Because listen, our system's not changing anytime
No,
soon.
but
Do you know what I
Shaq,
mean?
you need to factor this in.
Teams are going to adapt, and with every successful team, yeah, they've always had like a refresh in the team where they're bringing 1-2 proper killer players in it. Do you know what I mean? Just like what City, bro. City have just won 4 in a row, bro. They've just got back their old captain, bro, and they've brought in one of the best wingers in the league, bro. Do you know what I
Bro, they
mean?
signed they
I've looked at all of the players here that we brought in. Like, not one of them are the best in any of their positions, bro, in the league.
one second,
Not
one
one of
second.
them, bro.
I
It's
think
crazy, you know.
I think
And
you're
we were the losers
underestimating
as well.
I think you're underestimating the players we brought in, number one. Number two,
Mm.
I think you're also forgetting that when your team is this good, you can't just add any player. You
Thank
have to
you.
add
That's
the
what I've
right
been
players.
saying. Thank you. That's what I
Bro,
said.
I'm not, bruv, I'm not asking to
And
add,
what
any
City's
player.
signing
I'm
went
not
straight into the
asking, hold on a
team.
minute,
And
wait. I'm not asking to add any player though. I'm asking
If
to add
we
Pedro
added
Neto,
Savio, Mandem will be saying
I'm
who's the
asking
first
to add
one?
Pedro Neto, one of the best wingers in the league, bro. It's not like man was 100 mil, bro. He was 50 mil.
bro,
I'm asking us to
bro,
get us a, I'm
Pedro
asking
Neto
us to
50
get
mil,
a,
Chelsea got bumped.
he gets
what do you
injured
mean?
too much.
Oh
Chelsea
Lord,
got bumped.
oh
The guy,
oh Lord.
bro, let's be
We
honest.
spent we spent 8 million. We spent 8 million less than that on the
Pedro
left back, man. You're
Neto,
telling me one of the
Pedro
best
Neto,
wingers in the league just for eight
Pedro
million more as a
Neto,
bump. That's
Pedro Neto,
crazy.
Can I jump
Pedro
in
That's
Neto
quickly?
is always injured.
crazy. Hey
Pedro
yo,
Let me
Neto is
jump in,
always
yeah.
injured.
Let me jump in,
hey.
yeah.
For that price tag, we could have got Nico Williams if he agreed.
Nico Williams ain't
Let
better
me
than Pedro
let me
Neto,
jump in
man. I'm
quickly, yeah.
telling you that
Excuse
for
me?
Pedro Neto
me,
is
man.
always injured, Shaq. What are
He's
you
not
talking
better
about?
than Pedro
Nico
Neto,
Williams not
man.
The
better
man
than
is
Pedro
always
Neto.
injured. What are we
He's
talking
not
about?
better than
The
Pedro
man,
Neto,
the man,
man.
the
He's
man has
not, man.
how
Man,
many
Nico Williams is scatty, man. Sometimes he's good, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah,
I've seen this
I
guy
agree
for
with
a
Shaq
threat.
on that one,
I've
but
seen this guy for Bill Barrow, blood. I've seen this man run the ball at a play like nobody's business, man. Do you know what I mean? When I watch Pedro Neto, yeah, the guy's got finesse, blood. He can find a man with a pass, but he can beat his man cleanly.
yeah, but if
I'm
you
not
say
saying Nico
injury
Williams
free,
is
I agree
rubbish.
with you.
I'm just saying,
If you
whenever I've watched this
say
brother,
injury
because I know, listen, don't get me wrong, he done very well in the Euros, yeah. But I'm sorry, when I've watched this brother, yeah, for Bill Barrow, he's very, very, very up and down. I don't
yeah,
see
but
that
Let's
with
he's
see.
Neto.
Let's
younger.
see what Pedro Neto
He's
does
younger.
for Chelsea.
Neto is a more technically proficient player. He's a much more cleaner player. If anything, the issues for me, I'm not saying he's perfect, but if anything, the issue with Neto for me is his availability, is his injury concerns,
That's what I said.
not his ability, not his
I never
ability.
questioned his
Yeah,
But man,
ability.
at the end of the day, this market
Shaq,
is crazy, bro.
nobody
Bro.
is
Elliot
ability.
Anderson went for 35
Your
mil,
best
bro. This market is
ability is
crazy, bro.
availability. Your
50
best
something
ability is
million for Neto
availability.
is.
100%.
Your
That is
best
Huh?
right, man.
ability is availability. I don't care how good you are. If
No,
you're
you
not
got a point,
available,
but
then
it's
you're
not like
useless.
Neto. But it's not like
No,
One,
but
Neto was an attacking player, yeah.
here's my point.
One, Neto was an attacking player,
Listen,
yeah. And two, it's
here's my
not like
point.
he's never
Here's my point.
available. He's
My point
available
is
half of the time. You know what I mean? So
Thomas Partey is a good DM. He was injured the whole season. He's not available.
yeah, yeah.
He's useless to me. I don't care how good you are. My point is, I don't.
But Neto,
Listen.
okay, but Neto wasn't injured the whole of the
Nobody
season,
is
though.
dissing. Nobody is
He
dissing
was
Neto's
last year.
ability.
He
Nobody's
had
saying
2 knee
Neto is not a good
injuries.
player. Nobody's saying Neto is not a good player. Nobody.
Hey, do you know what signing we definitely missed out on though? Yeah,
Nobody's saying that. But if you're not
Eze
available,
would have been perfect for us, man, because he would have filled 2 voids. He would have filled the 8.
what are we doing here? I would rather a player that is slightly lesser than Neto, who is
I
available
wanted
to us.
both.
That's fully available throughout the season for me. Like we see what happens when a Saliba gets injured in our team. Being unavailable, we see what happens to the team. Gabriel getting injured, we see what happens to the team. My point is, I don't care how good you are, how chaotic you are, how explosive you are, how technical you are. If you are not available, then what is the point of paying that money for you? I would rather have a fully fit team that at least is able to go there and fight for a tie than say, oh, I had Pedro Neto. I wish I had played him, but we lost the game because he just wasn't available.
I'm not
If
gonna lie.
availability is so important, then why not keep Reece Nelson then? Cause we kept him. We gave him a contract to give him 100k. You don't give 100k to dead
Because
ballers
he's
now,
not-
do you?
Yeah,
not-
If availability matters so much, why don't we just keep the players that we had? Like, nah.
the player doesn't
I'm sorry. If you can give me at least half a season, yeah, I'd rather take the quality. I'm sorry, especially if we've already got Saka and Trossard in there. He's not.
Raheem
Neto
Sterling
doesn't
can
need to
do
play
that.
every game, does he? Neto
One
doesn't
second,
need to play every
bro.
game now, does he?
No, one second.
No, but
Going
hold a
off
minute.
of
Wait,
the
hold on.
legend.
You're saying I'm being disingenuous.
One
Does Neto
second.
need to play every game?
Yes,
We
I
employ
just
Bukayo Saka. We employ Trossard. Does Neto have to play every game?
for that
Bro,
price.
Can we stop for a
Does
second?
he even have
Can
to
we
play
stop for a
most
second?
games?
Can we stop for a
So
second?
you pay 60 million for a player to
Bro,
play what 10
can
games
we
for
stop for a
season?
second? Deo,
Is
chill.
that what you would do?
2 seconds. Bro, we need to understand.
More than
We've gone
10
off
games.
track. We've gone off track. How are we comparing a 50 million signing for Chelsea to a last-minute signing of Raheem Sterling? It's not the same thing.
Hey, and they're paying half the money for us to have him.
Exactly, the shambles.
We were not going to pay. We were not going to pay that kind of money for Pedro Neto. I would take Pedro Neto. Don't get me wrong. I think Pedro Neto is a better winger than Raheem Sterling. But Raheem Sterling at this moment in time is the guy that we've signed. He's also contributed more goals, more assists, and has played in the Premier League and been effective in many different teams. I do think we could get something out of Raheem Sterling. He's not the signing we all wanted, but he's the guy who's here. So let's try to stay on discussing that.
You know the funny thing? I wanted them 2 years ago when Jesus came with. I wanted the trio to come through the door, but we only got 2 for Man City 2 years ago. It's funny what you wish for, isn't it?
My man was on a decline, blood. He wasn't it. I'm telling you. It's just unfortunate Gabriel Jesus got injured when he was here. Because I think,
bro, you probably said the same thing about Jorginho.
I think Jesus, yeah, would have still done a thing for City, but Sterling, nah, that guy, no, not it.
What do you think what do you think of Jorginho when we signed him?
Good signing.
I don't want these Chelsea players,
especially. No. Do you know what Jorginho? Yeah, was because do you know what it is? I think Jorginho's a good footballer, innit? I think footballers like Jorginho get disrespected, yeah, because they lack athleticism, innit? Do you know what I mean? And I don't like that, especially in a possession-based team. I really do think that obviously he could bring something to the squad. He's not a starter for me.
Well,
do you know what I mean? But if you need to bring in.
In that logic you just said,
yeah, Jorginho's a better 6 than Sterling as a winger at the points of us signing both players. That's my personal opinion, innit? That's my personal opinion.
You know, everyone's gassing up Chelsea's attack, right? Everyone's gassing up Chelsea's attack. Is Jadon Sancho better than Martinelli?
Yes. Hell yeah.
When has he shown?
Defenders wouldn't say that, you know. Hey, defenders wouldn't say that, though.
Bro, just a few months, my man caught one of the best left backs in the world, man. What are we doing?
They're scared of Martinelli.
What are we doing?
They'll be shooting it before the game.
Are you saying?
No, they don't, bro. We saw Martinelli got locked up by. We saw Martinelli got locked up here by a teenager over the weekend. What are we talking about? We saw Jadon Sancho cook one of the best left backs here in European football, bruv, in the Champions League quarterfinals. Guys, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
What team was Jadon Sancho playing for? What team was he playing for? What team was he playing for when he cooked? What? No, because I want to talk about the Premiership
Why
and how the
the
players.
hell does
No,
that?
no.
Why the hell does that
Because
It
matter?
don't matter, Dio. It don't even matter, bro.
Why
but
does
they are
that
not.
matter? Let's
It
not.
matters.
Let's not.
Now
Let's not.
you don't
Bruv,
now you don't want to
no.
face the
Let's
truth.
not do the.
Now you don't want to face the truth.
Let's not do the
Jadon Sancho's
Premiership
career.
argument because
Jadon
the left
Sancho's
back we
career
bought
in the
isn't from the
listen.
Prem,
No.
and the
You
midfielder
you
that we
can't do
bought
that.
isn't from the Prem. Let's
The
not do
team,
that
the
argument,
team,
man.
the team you play
Let's
for
not do
matters
that.
more.
Nah.
Because why? The environment you're playing in, the players you're playing with, the balls you're fed, the way you're playing, the style you're playing influences how you play.
Yeah.
You sit there and say we don't have to talk about the team that he played for. It's not right. You have to talk about it's a team sport. It's the people feeding him the ball, the way the manager has set him up, the way they've played around his strengths. In the Premier, every team that Jadon Sancho has played for, as compared to Martinelli's game in Premiership, I'm not going to talk about Borussia Dortmund because he cooks in Borussia Dortmund. In the German league, Jadon Sancho cooks. But when it comes to the Premiership and we compare them vis-a-vis what they've both done, let's be realistic. Jadon Sancho has not cooked in the Premiership. In the Premiership, your team matters. Your team matters. Let's see this thing that we do with players. It's like, oh, can we just compare just the players individually? If you're saying skill set and if you're saying skill, Jadon Sancho is more skillful than Martinelli when it comes to what we've seen with what Jadon Sancho does with the ball technically and skillfully. That you can say. But if you're saying in the Premiership, what they both have done, listen, what they have
Sancho's
both
better
done.
in a cage ball, man. Cage football.
As good as Jadon Sancho was, as good as he is, right? Technically, he couldn't carry his club on his head. So if he's a better player, like Palmer, he can
One second.
Update. We got an update on Raheem Sterling's wages, guys. We're only paying him 100K.
100K. And Chelsea's
We're only
paying
him 100K.
paying more than half
yeah.
his weight.
I know Sancho. Anyways,
still not good enough.
What do you mean?
It's good. I'm not gonna lie. Like 350 to 100 is good.
We
like,
got,
don't get me wrong, but
Eddie and
still not good
Ketia
enough.
and Reece Nelson were combined 200K a week. We've gotten rid of them two. One is sold, one is on loan, and we brought in Raheem Sterling on the same wages as Reece Nelson.
And also, you lot have to take into consideration, that next summer, that Jorginho and Partey will probably leave, and Sterling will leave. So that means we need to buy 3 players, a centre mid.
And if anybody who doesn't know that source,
and hopefully they can be Eze, Gokares, and someone else class. And then this will be
Team News Antics is one of the most reliable sources.
Another 12 months, flipping out. It's always waiting until the next double transfer window for us. Hey, you always gotta wait.
If this team wins, I would like you to come back on this.
Dead before we get the players we need. I'm telling you.
If this team wins, when this, not even if I'm going to say, put it this way, when this team wins this season, because I'm telling you we're winning something this season. When this team wins this season, I want you to come back on this stream. We're going to do it again, Igal, and you're going to come and say exactly what you said earlier. You will raise your hand and you say, I have never been so happy to be wrong.
Bro, I think Raheem Sterling.
I will do it.
I want to know. Put your hand up if you think Raheem Sterling.
I would do it.
Put your hand up if you think Raheem Sterling.
I would love to. Dio, I don't think you understand me, brother. My brother, I don't think you understand me. I would love to. I don't think you understand. I would love to do that. I just heavily believe that I won't. That's all, man.
I only have 15 more minutes before the video is done. I wanted to say one thing. Everybody here, I'm not going to say rate the whole transfer window. Can we rate the fact that we actually sold some players for decent money? Eddie Nketiah, Emil Smith-Rowe, Ramsdale. We raised at least 100 million off them 3.
Well, finally we made some money off these players, man. Finally, fucking hell.
So that's at least a positive, no?
Yeah, that's a positive.
No, look, like I said, Shaq.
You know what? It's underwhelming, but I'm happy with my team. I think we can.
Shaq is thinking.
Here's what I said. Like, if we don't win anything this season, I will come here and I will say I was wrong. These players are not good enough, and they need to get rid of them and the manager. Like, that is what I will say at the end of the season.
No. Dio. One question, yeah. One question, Dio. I'll
get rid of Edu
after you said that. After Champions League. Let me just say one thing.
Can we give Edu credit for player sales?
No, we have now. We've given I will say this,
Dio. Shaq, you're not giving him no credit for nothing.
Well done to
I'll give him little credit for
Dio,
we could have even the whole window.
Yeah.
Oh
Everyone
gosh.
in the chat,
I
everybody
don't
give me your
know.
ratings for the whole Arsenal
Like,
window. That's including Neto. That's including Sterling. That's including Raya. That's including Calafiori. That's including what do you call it, Mikel Moreno. I'm giving it
oh
a
no,
5.
no.
Only because
Hey,
of the house.
We can't be giving credit for Raya. Come on, let's not do that.
Why
No.
not?
We can't give
Why
credit for
not?
Raya, bro.
Raya is
No,
included in
come
this
on,
window.
man.
Why
Come
not?
on.
Officially, he's included in this
Nah,
year's.
man. Nah,
We just
nah,
picked
let's
the
Hey, you
not
squad
have
for
to
do
pay the
that.
money
preseason.
to
Let's
that,
not
mate.
You
do
guys
that.
can't do this.
The man that we bought this
The
window.
guy played how many games for us last season, bro? We
Hey,
knew
but
he was
we're talking
staying. Come
we're
on
talking
now.
about
We knew he was staying,
Shaq,
man. Let's
Shaq,
not
Shaq,
do this.
Shaq, Shaq, Shaq.
We
Listen.
knew he was
We're not talking
staying.
about player. We're
Oh,
talking about
man.
money here, Shaq. We're talking about how much they've spent and how
Yeah.
much they've made. We're saying Raya's fees was paid this year, so we're talking
Mhm.
about the finances. Can you rate him based on what they've done on the
People saying
business side? We're not
4,
talking about how long the
4.5.
players played for
I
us.
agree
When
with the 5.
the player could have
Jay,
played
what
for
is
us for
your
Hey,
20
can I ask Dio a
talking about
question though?
the money.
Let me ask
Jay? Give
Dio
me your answer though. What's your rating?
a 6.
6?
6.
Why?
Because I feel like if we got the striker, I would have gave her an 8 or 9. But that striker just did it for me, man. That just did it for me.
All right.
Because I really don't trust Havertz up front for the whole season. And I feel like if he gets injured and there's no Eddie, we're going to have to play Trossard or Martinelli up there. Which I do think we should play Trossard up there anyway. And when Jesus' knee gets better, maybe him. But I want to ask Dio a question. He said, at the end of the season, if we don't win nothing, you'll sack Arteta, yeah? But what about if we get to the semi-finals of the Champions League, we finish second, and Pep says he leaves? And I want to slay Pep before he leaves. But I'm saying to you, if we still win nothing, we finish second. If Pep leaves, why not give Arteta a whole season when Pep leaves?
Okay, so I hear you on that. And this is where I've always tried to be very fair as regards to how I talk about my decision, my personal opinions about Arteta.
Yeah.
Everybody in one breath says Pep is the greatest manager and Pep cannot be stopped. But in the other breath, say Arteta has got to go and beat Pep. I'm like, those two things are very stupid to say to me. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You can't tell me this is the best guy. He can't be beat, and then
That's what
shit
they
on you
do.
and shit on your own manager.
That's
Say,
what they
well,
do.
Arteta ain't doing this. So here's what I say. If that is the situation, and we all agree that Pep is the greatest manager, I'm willing to give him a chance then, because there's no more excuses. There's no more excuses.
100%.
But here's the thing: if Arsenal goes on to win an FA Cup, we fall short of the league by maybe 1 point, make it to the semi-final of the Champions League, right? I'm beginning to ask myself, after 5 years, Arteta, not just you, the entire team, you've built this team. This is now your squad. You've had them for 2 seasons. They've challenged and they've missed it by an inch. Now you're missing it again. Yes, you won a trophy. Fair enough. It only papered over the cracks for me. Maybe your style, you've helped us build the club. It's a well-structured run club now. Maybe your style is not the style to get us over the line. Bringing in another head coach who has a different style, who might get 1 or 2 pieces with what you structured for us, might get us over the line. It's objective, like it's like running a business. And
But if the players are still on board mentally, and then
Yeah.
then you have to keep him. As long as the players are like invested,
see, look, I agree. I
and the
hear you.
football's good, and we're challenging. If we fall short, obviously, if it's like for another 4 years,
I just feel like
a year or two, man. You got to give them another year. Or two.
James, I
That
hear
might
you.
not be enough for the players. I can't lie, man. We need to start winning soon, bro. Some of these
James,
man
that's-
heads are gonna start turning.
But I
That's the
personally
point.
think we're winning it this year, innit? But yeah.
So
What
here's
would
my
you,
thing, James. Like I said,
what did you rate the window, by the way?
I rate the window a 6. I rate the window a 6 because I think we have the right profiles in the positions that I actually sat down and looked at and said these are the, like, we need players and bodies in those
Needed
positions.
a left back, a left winger.
We needed a lot of stability on the left. This idea that it was just a left back or it's just no, we needed stability in the sense that we needed players who were comfortable in that position and could do the business. They don't have to be flair players. They can win their duels, win the first ball, win the second ball, progress the ball quickly, fast, move it on, score a goal. And because we're good in defense, block up. Look, I keep saying this. We are closer to playing like Atletico Madrid than playing like any other team. The way Arteta is setting us up, go look at the way we're playing. If you put a Marino and a Rice in front of the back four of Calafiori, Saliba, Gabriel, and Ben White, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to break you down. And because you can score from multiple places, your defenders are scoring, you can score through set pieces, you can score through open goals, you can score through penalties. Once we score, it just becomes a lock up the shop thing.
And do you remember when we remember the
and
game?
if that wins us the league.
And do you
I don't
remember 2
care.
years ago when we lost, we got pipped by Tottenham to the top 4, and Holding played against the Spurs and
Yeah.
that game, and we got fucked.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, the defense we got now and the depth of the defenders we have is crazy. Like we have the best defense in the league on paper and in real life last season.
And I must say,
Arteta is ruthless as well. Ramsdale, he got rid of him. Vieira got rid of him. The list goes on. Hopefully, if Havertz don't turn up this season, he's ruthless and he gets rid of him next summer.
You want to know something else? For the first time, there's no Arsene Wenger players left at the club.
My point exactly. So this is why I said if after this season, if you've gotten the players that you want in totality now, if you don't win something this season, then maybe your style is not good enough to get us over the line. Thank you for helping us build a structure that is great, where we now have a proper structure. The club is running properly. We can bring somebody else as a head man.
Hey, Daryl, you know what I think? I think you let the other fans ask you the question and push you to feel that. I know you don't.
No. See, James, Igal will tell you, I look at a lot of data. I literally go back and analyze like the Arsenal games and where we went wrong and what we did wrong and why, like what is it that we did wrong in this game? How did these guys score? We were playing them better. All of a sudden, and when I look at those kind of things, I still see the certain commonalities with Arteta's style. And maybe that style is good enough to get us here, and another style is good enough to get us over the line.
Yeah, but you have to remember, we're playing against Man City and Pep. Like,
I agree with
good enough.
I think City have gotten worse.
Look,
I agree.
That Sabio guy is really good, man.
Guys, Julian Alvarez is gone. One second. Let me speak. Julian Alvarez is gone. Oscar Bob got a knee injury. Knee injury. Yes, they got Gundogan back. You could say they've improved in the midfield. Savio is his first season in the Premier League. Let's see how he does. Overall, we know that Doku and Grealish have not been delivering for them. What do you call it? Phil Foden. Phil Foden's coming back from the Euros. We'll see how he does. Bernardo Silva is always great. Overall, they still have quality and depth. But they are getting weaker. And guys like Kevin De Bruyne is getting older. Rodri needed a backup. They got Gundogan, so that's where they're covered with that. Outside of that, I think everywhere else.
I'm not even worried.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah.
I'm not even worried about City.
Where have they improved besides in the midfield?
I'm not worried about City. Let me tell you why.
They've improved in their attack. They got Savio, one of the best wingers in the league. I'm telling you, Bev. Grealish is a ball. He's a treble winner, man. Come on, man.
And we improved in our defense. We improved in our defense. They improved in their attack. What are we talking about? We didn't improve in our defense.
No, Gal. You seriously wouldn't choose Grealish over
treble winner. Crazy.
Bro, one second. Understand, Grealish for Man City has been ineffective for well over a year.
I think he would cook for us.
He's been
100%, man. He starts he walks into our left wing. I'm telling you that.
Yeah, 100%. He would be our left winger. But you know what? It's not a bad thing. We got Sterling. We're gonna be positive. We're gonna move forward, and we're gonna win this league. I'm telling you,
bro. Let's be honest. Grealish has been £100 million flop for City.
I'm sorry, Igal. I'm not even worried about City. Let me tell you what I'm worried about. I'm worried about the ceiling forget trouble winner. I don't want to hear that again. All these trouble winners. So he's the trouble winner. What has he done? He's $100 million flop. He's £100 million flop. Regardless of that, so the team to win the trouble.
I think we're gonna have to bring this back another day. But before we go,
for that system, man.
But before we go, I'm just gonna say this. James, do you think we can do it this year?
I think we can do it.
100%. I don't think I know we're doing it.
Our defense is going to be the reason why we win this league.
I agree. I think the player of the year is going to be Saliba.
I don't care who the player of the year is.
What about you, Shaq?
Gabriel.
No, too many holes.
Because Gabriel
You're saying strikers
in short, because I can go on forever, yeah. But one, too many holes, yeah. And
Ivan Toney, Saudi Arabia,
and two. Last season we got very lucky with injuries. I'm not so sure if it's going to be the same. That's another thing that we've taken for granted as well. That's why I had certain expectations. and I wanted us to even bring in more players that we did bring in, but
Well, that's when we
obviously,
strengthened in defense, though.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Anyways, guys, I'm gonna have to wrap it up. I got work in about 5 hours, so we'll catch you guys hopefully another time.
same.
I'm gonna actually do a post-match reaction tomorrow, not after the game, but I'm gonna do it in the evening, like when all the games are done at like 7 o'clock. So if you guys want to stay tuned for that, stay tuned for that. Big up James for coming for the first time. Football Locker Room Banter. That's your channel, I'm assuming. So
Yeah.
people go check that out. Dayo's channel is Banter on the Pitch. And Shaq, you got any content you produce?
Yeah. Shaq talks ball, but Shaq Salty in it. Shaq Salty, you will find it.
I'm gonna make sure I
Yeah,
put it in the
yeah.
description. Guys, please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on the way out, and we're out of here. Peace. Go to Staffy's channel. Go to Staffy's channel and tell him Man United sucks. Anyways, we're out of here.
Love, guys.